It is Wednesday, April 6th, 2022. This is Baseball Today. I am Chris Rose, and who are you?
Back.
Yeah.
I couldn't let that beautiful man come here and just, serenade our listeners. Everyone in the comment section was basically saying, get Trev out of here, get Jerry in. I had to come back.
That's not what it was kind of what they were saying. But listen,
Unreal.
they love you too.
Thank you. I love our listeners.
I do too. Are you feeling all better? Are you clear? Are you going to be ready to go for opening day?
I'm ready to go. I got my World Series prediction tonight. We did the Blitzball award show last night that I got absolutely snubbed at. I got disrespected.
Yeah. I voted for you for Cy Young. I just want to tell you, I did.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some. I won the trophy.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
Yeah.
Although you did throw down the gauntlet and say you're going for every individual award next time we have a season.
Anybody can be likable, okay? I can do that. I'll pander.
Okay. You know what I like? When I wake up and I see that the best player that the Cleveland Guardians have had in a while re-ups. It gets an extension. Jose Ramirez gets 5 for 124, so he's locked in another 7 for 150. A, are you shocked? And B, what does this mean for my team?
A, I am not shocked. I'm happy. And B, I don't really know, Chris. And I don't think anybody really knows just yet. Look, we know that Cleveland's been able to develop arms. They got Jose Ramirez, a guy they can build around on the offensive side. So I think that's what they have to focus on now. Let's get these young arms up here established. Let's get some innings under them. See where, maybe the next year or two takes us. I don't even think it's going to take that long. Let's see how this year goes. This next offseason, I fully expect Cleveland to be in on some names and trying to really, really improve their roster. It's not like the AL Central is some gauntlet right now. Sure, the Tigers are coming up. Yeah, the White Sox are pretty good. But, it's not – I think if you can go out, get some free agents, make some trades, like the Guardians can be competing for an AL Central title next year.
So I will admit I was 1,000% shocked. I thought when I went to sleep last night, I thought, oh, my God, the Guardians are trading him to the Padres. I talked to somebody who's very close to the Padres organization last night. He told me the possible deal on the table. And I was like, what?
What is it?
I can't get too much into it. All I can tell you is C.J. Abrams and Mackenzie Gore were not going to Cleveland, which is shocking. I was like, wait a second. Jose Ramirez is one of the best deals in baseball. He's an awesome player. And I was like sick to my stomach that this was the way it was going to go down. This is huge on a couple of fronts. One, Cleveland fans until today did not have a jersey that they could definitively buy. And people might laugh at that comment. That's a sad statement. If you have young kids and they want to buy somebody's jersey, you don't want them to be there for a year. You want to be able to buy Fernando Tatis's jersey. You want to be able to, right? That's how you want to be able to roll. It sucks that you look at the roster and like, maybe Bieber? That's hard to take. The other part of this, and it's the most important part, this cannot be the end of what they do. It has to be the beginning. It's the first time they've ever had a contract worth more than $60 million in total on their franchise. They get over the $100 million mark, which is huge, huge step for this franchise. They have to be able to continue to spend. And I'm not talking about 5 years for $100 million for Nick Castellanos, but it's a joke they couldn't compete for a guy like Mark Canha, who would have helped their outfield situation. Those are the sort of pieces with this young developed pitching staff they're going to have to add if they want to take down the White Sox.
There's some free agents available too in 2023. Okay. So we can look to the future, but I think I'm excited to see how Jose performs this year after getting this. I expect him to go in there and understand his role now he is going to be the face of the franchise. And that's something that
he's been Chris. That.
Yeah, but this is now he knows he's going to be here for a long time.
Yes.
He's entrenched in the city. He's expressed his wanting to stay in Cleveland, which, man, how many people say that?
Not many.
LeBron left.
Twice.
So he'll cement himself in the city now more than he already has. And I'm excited for him. And I got to see this guy come up and, we had some words once, not him and I, but our team. You remember that. Yeah, and he just turned into a magnificent player who's really, been underrated and under the radar, I guess you could say.
So, all right, we're going to move on now and kind of quickly go through our preseason awards, if you will. And these are very different. We're not just picking division winners and stuff. We'll put that out on a graphic for you guys for public consumption so you can hold our feet to the fire when we're dead wrong on all of our predictions. But these are kind of fun preseason predictions. Let's start with the Eyes on You award. You can watch only one team all season long and all of their games, but no other squad in total. Which one is it and why?
My gut feeling first told me it was the Philadelphia Phillies because I just love what they got going on in that clubhouse with those bangers. You know, I love the ball to be hit very far, Chris, but I changed my mind. I thought with my head here, who do I want to watch all season long? It's the Seattle Mariners. They have everything that I like. They have young dudes coming up. Kelnick, Rodriguez made the opening day roster. They went out and signed the Cy Young. They have improved their offense from last year, bringing in Winker, Suarez, Adam Frazier. I mean, this is a team who surprised everyone last year. This is their prove it year. But I think this is going to be some of the most fun baseball to watch in Major League Baseball. Not only the team, but when Seattle fans get into it, they get into it. I've been there. Mm-hmm. I've been there when Felix was pitching and they had the whole thing going on. It's amazing. So the product is great on the field. The fans are going to be great. I think it's going to be electric all year long. And guess what? There is a chance that they're going to be battling with Houston at the end of the season for that AL West title. And I can't wait to watch it.
Yep, they've got the longest. We don't have to keep saying it, but I will. The longest playoff drought in North American sports going. It's been since 2001. Those good people up there in Seattle need something to cheer for, and I think they'll give it to them. I'm happy you didn't go with your instinct because that's exactly who I'm watching. It's the Phillies because they could swing either way here, right? They could be great, and we saw the photo of those 5 monsters they put out on social media. It's a great shot. And they're going to mash and all that sort of stuff. And then they could be a total disaster and Philly fan is going to be all over it. And I am here for every second of it because I don't know which direction this is going to go. Can they push the Braves and the Mets atop the division, or are they going to end up behind the Marlins? Like, I can't wait to see.
I don't think that a disaster is coming. So I think you're good. I think you're going to have fun watching the Phillies all year long.
I agree. All right. Who is your Robbie Ray, which means go from really solid major leaguer to elite status in 2022?
Now, I'm skeptical of my choice here because I think maybe he's already at elite or at least close to it. But I think Brian Reynolds is going to become a star because he's going to get out of Pittsburgh. I think they're going to trade him. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping they do. I hope he goes and plays center field for a contender and then shines. This guy is an absolute baller. 912 OPS last year, playing really good center field. You just don't find those guys. They're just not hanging around all over the place. So he's in Pittsburgh. They should obviously lock this guy up and try to build around him. I don't know if that's their plan. But I think even if he stays in Pittsburgh, how about this? Like, if he puts up another 900 OPS season, how could you not look at this guy? It's incredible, especially on a team like that. It's very hard to produce on a bad team. So I'm picking Brian Reynolds.
Yeah, because you get such few pitches to hit a game. You know, it's like Barry Bonds syndrome at times. That's a good one. I'm going to go with the guy who really did kind of have a breakout season. But if we're talking about elite status, where you are pushing as like a top 3 MVP or Cy Young candidate, I'm going with Tyler O'Neill. I'm a big fan of his. I love watching dudes who look like they should be playing like tight end or linebacker playing baseball. I just think it's really cool. And I know he had it over a 900 OPS. I know he finished 8th in the MVP voting. So people will say, well, he's right there. It's a big leap to go from 8th and getting some MVP votes to getting first place votes. That's a big jump. He's a 2-time Gold Glove winner, and he's Canadian, and I like rooting for Canadians. There.
I thought about him as well. So I was close to picking him. I do love Tyler O'Neill. I think that's Cardinals team is also going to be really fun to watch this year.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. How about going to need the cold tub a lot this season award winner? That means which player over 35 is going to wow you?
I'm going to tie it back to my Mariners pick. I think it's Sergio Romo. Remember, they just signed him to a 1-year contract.
Oh, my God.
The guy can still slang the slider up there. Last year, he walked a little bit too many people. He was like in the what was it? Yeah, 3.1 walks per 9 last year. He's got to bring that down a little bit, bring the strikeouts back up to where they can be. But the way he throws the ball, that slider, it's just different than a lot of people throw it. He still can throw the fastball at 82, 83, 84, and it looks like it's 95 because he just lulls you to sleep with a slider. I am calling it right now. Sergio Romo will be pitching in big, big moments down the stretch for the Mariners, and people are going to be losing their mind, and hitters are going to be like, what is going on? Because he's just that tricky.
People forget he was on the mound a decade ago when the Giants won the World Series in 2012, right? He struck out. Didn't he strike out Miguel Cabrera?
Miguel Cabrera on a fastball. Go check out the sequence episode I did with him. I promise you, I think it's the best one I did. I did a lot of good ones. Sergio Romo talking about that at bat is awesome.
Yeah. You never had him as a teammate, right? You never.
I did.
You did up in Minnesota?
Yeah. No, we were in Tampa
Oakland?
Together.
Tampa. Oh, Tampa.
Yeah.
Dude, he's a nut, but in a fun way, right?
Awesome. He's great, dude. I thoroughly enjoy Sergio Romo, and Mariners fans, you got a good one. And again, like it's gonna seem a little bit weird trusting a guy that can only throw that hard in big spots, but he can get it done.
He was part of that super interesting bullpen out in San Francisco. I mean, obviously Wilson was the linchpin, started it, but you had Romo. Jeremy Affeldt is a really interesting guy, kind of all over the place. Really fun crew. I like those dudes.
Who do you got?
Well, it was interesting that I just mentioned Miguel Cabrera because that's who I'm going with. But so I look at this from several different levels. Okay, he's about to become the 7th member of the 3,000/500 home run club. 7th in history. He's 13 knocks shy. So we've got that going for us in the month of April. And, you know, we all remember what happened last year when he hit his 500th home run and how cool it was. I hope this time he gets that milestone in Detroit and can celebrate. Now, is he going to rediscover the Miggy of old? No. But he's 38 years old, which was the same exact age when Frank Thomas finished 4th in the MVP voting in 2006 with the Oakland A's. It can be done. It can be done. Now,
the difference stat right there. Attaboy.
There is a major difference. Thomas, even though he was bogged down by injuries in 04 and 05, still had like over a 900 OPS when he did play those years. So it wasn't a shock. It was just the fact that he stayed healthy in 06, whereas Miggy's game has declined. But I think when he went into that office the other day and gifted Spencer Torkelson a first baseman's mitt and said, "It is your time." Like it was almost like a life-size giant Yoda saying, "Here, take my first baseman's mitt, and it is yours." And like he's there to guide him, but he still has the power. What? That didn't sound like Yoda?
The message, I don't know. I think Yoda's usually more like eloquent, but whatever.
What? More eloquent. He's the guy that, makes words like, "First base, you shall play with mitt going this way." So something like that. That's what he does. That's what Yoda does. Doesn't make any sense. So do you understand? No.
I like it. I love the Miggy pick. And I'd say it every time. People are probably sick of me saying this, but what that guy brings to other players on the team can't be understated. His knowledge of the offensive side of the ball. Yeah,
and I think it has reinvigorated him that they have surrounded him not with just kids. Like it was like Miggy and the Tigers, and now that's not it. They've added bona fide major league talent to this team.
This is like, people need to realize this is like who's like a famous artist. I don't know. There's a lot of them, right? Picasso. Everyone knows Picasso. This is like Picasso teaching you art. Like he's one of the best to ever do it, and he can teach you his secrets, man. Like how valuable is that?
Hey, are you looking for an award winner yourself? Treat yourself. Go on over to manscaped.com and use the code word baseball today. You'll get 20% off and free shipping with the code word baseball today. So what do you get? Of course, it is time to clean yourself up south of the equator. Baseball season is starting on Thursday. You get the Performance Package 4.0. It starts off with the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, which I will be using in about less than 24 hours because I'm going on a sweet-ass vacation with Michelle. I don't want to disappoint her, so I'm going to be using that. On top of that, the Weed Whacker. That's the ear and nose hair trimmer. Are you old enough to use the ear and nose hair trimmer?
I use it. I don't need it a ton, but time to time I'll have a straggler. I use it. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at my age, when I sneeze, I look like a party favor. I got shit just flying everywhere. So I got to clean that thing up. You also got the Crop Preserver. It's the anti-chafing ball deodorant and moisturizer. The Crop Reviver spray-on toner for your balls. You never know when you're going to have to take care of business. So you got to be clean and you got to be ready. And there's one other thing, and this is really important and it's sensitive. April is the beginning of baseball season, but it's also Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. And so Manscaped has partnered with Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer, which is the #1 form of cancer in men ages 15 to 35. Listen, it's important to check yourself. Seriously, do this. Check yourself. And if you feel something that's going on, go see your doctor. As dudes, sometimes the last thing we ever want to do is admit that we're not feeling well, we're not 100%, and we need the help of a doctor. Go get yourself checked. And that's why it's so great that Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society. So once again, go clean yourself up. Go order it up. It's a great package, if you know what I mean. Go to manscaped.com. Use the code word baseball today. 20% off plus free shipping. Anyway, how about the nice new Threads Award? Which guy on a new team that we haven't spent any time talking about here on Baseball Today in the spring will have a big impact on his squad?
Now, I think we have talked about him, but the signing was pre-lockout, so it's kind of gotten lost in the shuffle. And it's Kevin Gausman. Okay, he's up there in Toronto. And I'm going to read you their rotation, okay? It's Barrios, it's Ryu, it's Manoah, and Kikuchi. If I read those 4 names off to you, you're like, hey, it's a pretty good rotation. Add in Kevin Gausman to that. Now we have an elite rotation. It takes them from being an offensive-minded team that can pitch a little bit to we're covered on both sides of the ball here. So I think we will be talking about him a lot, and we did initially, and then the lockout happened. But him up in Toronto, it just takes them from kind of where they were last year to just missing the playoffs to like everybody's picking them to win the World Series. And I think he's the big reason why.
So it's interesting. I talked to a guy that faced him a lot last year. And I said, boy, is that splitter? He's like, he gets away with it. Like, it's coming. And for some reason, we don't have guys on our team that are disciplined enough to lay off of it. So is it that it's that good, or what is it with him? Because I'm getting mixed reviews.
He's got a live arm, so everything, it's not like straight. Everything's kind of like moving a little bit. I have faced him when he was with the Orioles, I believe, and I did hit a splitter for a homer. Like, there are times where it'll hump up, but when he's on with it, it looks like a heater that just drops out of the zone. And sometimes you can pick up a little lack of spin on it. That's what happens when you throw in that. Like, it just kind of comes out. It doesn't look the same as a heater. It doesn't have that rotation on it. So you can pick it up out of his hand at certain times, and maybe that's this guy that you're talking about saw him on a bad day, but when he's on, look, he had a 2.8 last year. Like, he's a guy. So I just really believe that he takes the Blue Jays, even though I know they lost Robbie Ray. If they did not replace Robbie Ray, we're talking about a completely different Blue Jays team.
Yes,
and Gausman makes them a whole team again.
Yeah, listen, he's not going to have the same year that Robbie Ray had, but if he's 80 to 85%. That's pretty damn good. And it's the same thing. Like, they lost Marcus Semien. That's a top 3 year in the AL for what he did from the second base position. But you bring in Matt Chapman and you hope that he can kind of reinvigorate himself offensively. Then you're okay. And to me, the biggest thing with that team is the fact that they don't have to move. They're not moving from Dunedin to Buffalo to Toronto. Like, that was hard as shit. And they were still in it until the last day of the season.
It's another year of experience too. And they got the taste of defeat. Like, I think that has to matter a ton. These guys don't want to go home in October. They don't want to go on vacation. They want to play playoff baseball. So I think that is also going to help them a ton. Gausman's done it. He's been there. And I think that's just brings another, he's just another veteran that's really going to help that team.
Oh yeah. I don't think there's any question about that. For me, he's a kind of a smallish player in terms of like what you expect. But Aaron Loop, I think it was a huge pickup for the Angels, and maybe it was just part of the whole. He's a piece of the whole pie out there. They added some arms there in the bullpen that they think will solidify things. But when you look at his year that he had a season ago, He gave up 37 hits in 57 innings. Just 37 out of the pen. 1 homer. Opponents hit a $192 against him. You know, they also added Tepera and Archie Bradley, and those are guys that are going to help. But Loop is a guy, I think he's going to be critical in situations against the Astros. You know, they've got some monster left-handed bats, although he's not really, I don't think he's a huge splits guy at all. I think he's pretty solid against both sides of the dish. So I'm super excited for him. And I'm super excited for the Angels because I want to see them stick around till September. I've had enough where the 2 of the best players in the game, if not the 2 best players in the game, aren't playing meaningful baseball in September. So a guy like Aaron Loop is so critical.
Yeah, he's critical to their team, and he's immensely critical to their team. The whole bullpen will be this year. You know, with Loop, I saw him when he wasn't kind of where he's at now. So he's a guy that I'm like, I don't know how he's doing it, but in 2020, 2021, this guy's been absolutely lights out. You know, he kind of has that funky angle. So yeah, man, like he's a guy that you can match up really well against some left-handed bats. But really he can do it against anybody.
All right. Last
Big
question
signing.
is kind of self-promoting, which is why I'm wearing a Rose Rotation t-shirt, but I want to hear from people out there in the chat. And this is serious, while being fun. Which big name player that has not been on the Rose Rotation should make an appearance this year?
I have a great answer for this, and I want to make sure I'm not getting duped again on this show. Okay, the quote that Thor had about the leadoff hitter eating vegan and theirs is the modern day Babe Ruth. Is that a real quote, or is that just something going around on the internet?
I don't know. I didn't hear it come out of his mouth, so you don't know.
It's going all over the place. He said, "We're not scared of anybody. Their leadoff hitter is a vegan. Ours is the modern day Babe Ruth." If that's a real quote, which honestly, it kind of sounds like something Thor would say.
Yes.
We got to get him on the show. And we've been reaching out.
Yeah.
And like, I think it's close.
Okay.
But I think from that show, there'd be a ton of great sound bites. How about that?
He's hilarious on Twitter. He really has a good, like a top 5 baseball game on Twitter. He's very funny.
I need to see the full personality.
That's the thing is that, you know, we had him on Intentional Talk a couple of times. I think he is a little camera shy, which happens with some people. They're better.
He's so good looking. What, come on, bro.
I get it, man.
Why
if
am
I look
I
like
so
that,
confident?
Are you kidding me? I'd walk around in a freaking, you know, Speedo all the time. I'd just be like, yeah.
Great visual.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying. Seriously, I'd have no problems with it. I'd go. That's how I'd show up to work. Be like, yeah, I got clothes on. I'm good. Fine. That's a great one. I would love to chop it up with him. One other one is Bryce Harper. Yeah. Okay, so I'm really shooting for the stars here. First of all, he's got a great personality. He can talk about anything, and I understand it. Like a guy like that wants to keep to himself. He's got a couple of kids now. He wants to be dad. He probably doesn't want to be bothered away from the park, but I would love to get him when Philly's on the road one day and just get him, zoom him up from his hotel room just to see how things are, man.
We can make that happen, bro. We can make that happen. You know, I was a teammate of his in spring training in 2019.
So what I would do is, because Bryce does pay attention to social media occasionally.
Okay.
So let's tag him and just say, hey, listen, you would be great. We would love to hear from you on the Chris Rose Rotation. Make sure you tag me too and Rose Rotation so we can make this sort of thing.
Him and Thor.
Yeah. Let's go for it. I mean, there's countless others, and I would love to hear from people in the chat because you guys kind of help us go, oh, yeah, that'd be really interesting, you know? So
I have one I'm really working on, but I don't know if I'm going to bring it to you or to Talking Baseball. So you got to be nice to me. What do you mean? What do I mean?
You guys aren't an interview show.
We can be.
We
could do whatever we want.
Yeah, you guys. There's no question. There's no question. But
okay,
you know,
let me let you know what I'm working on.
Okay, offline.
You ever heard of Shohei?
Oh, come on. Yeah,
I'm working on it.
Well, I mean, I'll be happy to drive down to Anaheim and do a face-to-face.
I think Talking Baseball is a better show for him.
What do you think? I don't know if he could handle Jake.
Yeah, honestly, I'd bring him to you just to make sure the company doesn't embarrass themselves.
Yeah, I don't want to set him as his wheels spinning
I'm
backwards.
working on it.
It's going too good. All right, what do you have coming up on John Boy?
I don't know. A lot of stuff, man. Baseball season's here. Talking baseball's like all the time. We did the Blitzball awards show last night. Don't even watch it because I didn't get any awards. I'm pissed about it.
Please watch it.
It's a good show. And then tonight, people, 6:30 Eastern on the Talking Baseball YouTube channel, I will be announcing my pick. Not my pick. I'm announcing the winner of the World Series.
Right.
And the loser. And in how many games. So come check that out. We'll be live streaming, doing it, having fun. Yeah. What about you? What do you got,
Can I ask
man?
you one question about that?
Yeah.
Are the
I
Orioles
told
winning,
you, didn't I?
Are the Orioles winning it in 5 or 6?
Orioles are not going to win it. And your Guardians are not going to win it. So those 2 teams out.
So we're down to 28?
Yeah. And I already told you who it is. Don't act like you don't know.
Okay.
You're one of like 5 people now.
I know, but it's in the vault. I'm a vault. Tyler Glasnow out on the Rose rotation. Make sure you watch that. He's always fun, always interesting.
Dude, he's so good.
As he texted me last night, he goes, I have to work on my camera setup. It was very dark and all that sort of stuff.
Don't be hiding that beautiful face, Tyler.
Exactly. But I'm not here to tell him how to do set decoration. That's not I wasn't up for.
He's asking you, bro.
He wasn't asking. He was commenting.
Okay.
And then we've got Austin Hedges of the Cleveland Guardians joining us on Thursday. Now, obviously, this was taped pre-Ramirez contract extension, but we do talk about Jose an awful lot and what he brings to the club and how funny he is in the clubhouse. So there's a lot of good Ramirez story. He is all over the place in the best way possible, Hedges. Really funny.
Yeah. Yes, he is.
He is really funny. So we've got that stuff going. And then we are setting the table for opening day, which unfortunately has already had a couple of games canceled. So goes it.
Yeah.
It's still long
April,
season.
baby.
It's April. That's right. And it does suck playing in the cold, which I'm sure we'll talk about on Thursday's show. Special shout out to our producer, Dan Rourke, as always, busting it. We appreciate it. Plouffe, I'll be tuned in at 6:30 tonight to listen to the World Series winner. I really don't even have to watch the season after this.
I have like so many things to say about it. Just come to the live stream.
That's all you got to do. We'll see you on the live stream then. And we'll see you here on Baseball Today. For Trevor Plouffe, I'm Chris Rose. We'll catch you on opening day, everybody.